but I think the money will come from somewhere. We've seen like investments from overseas trying to buy 200 hectares and start doing coffee themselves. I think it will come from somewhere, but I think what you would call good coffee, sustainable coffee, or where people and not corporations, people can make a good living out of that. I think that's already going away.
This episode is proudly brought to you by Mapper Forward's workshop. It's time to become a coffee consultant. Learn how to diversify your revenue streams and create freedom from your day job while saying goodbye to that alarm clock forever by becoming a consultant within the coffee industry or directly to consumers who have shifted towards home brewing and home roasting. Protect your income from challenging times in the coffee value chain by taking this course today. Go to mapperforward.coffee/workshops or click the link in the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Safar, and this is unfortunately the last episode 5 of a 5-part series with Mark Bolliger from Finca Rosenheim. I don't know why I keep going to call it Finca Rosa. Finca Rosa's your great-grandmother.
No,
No, Rosa.
it was my grandma.
I didn't just mean to call her a farm. I'm sorry, Rosa. But yes, Mark from Finca Rosenheim is here from Peru. We're having conversation about the reality of being a coffee producer today. Now, we are going to talk about the uncertainty that comes from running a coffee farm. I would like to start this conversation, Mark, by asking you, do you think that coffee is under threat?
So I think we don't see eye to eye on this because I know that if there's a market, people will grow coffee. It will come from somewhere. If it's not established farms that lost their land to the bank, or small farmers that don't see the need or don't see that their work will be paid. But I think the money will come from somewhere. We've seen like investments from overseas trying to buy 200 hectares and start doing coffee themselves. I think it will come from somewhere, but I think what you would call good coffee, sustainable coffee, or where people and not corporations, people can make a good living out of that. I think that's already going away.
Right. So consolidation is going to survive. Smallholder producers are under threat. Is that a better way of saying it?
I think so. Most coffees is grown by people that have 1 hectare, 2 hectares. They grow it with their families. And if they see that they're going to work on coffee and when they go out to the market, find the prices are not really interesting, they'll abandon their coffees. And this has happened already.
So it kind of sort of sounds like coffee's going away.
But I know corporations will do it. I know they will
but they will do it for themselves.
Into the jungle and cut the trees down and where the land is cheaper. And I know somebody will do it.
But they will do that to secure their own supply chain, right? Like Unilever or Nestle or these people will do it so that they can make their own product. They're not doing that to service. So it's big corporations establishing their own coffee farms so that they can sell their own bottled beverages or their own roasted coffee, as opposed to farms that are growing coffee, even big farms growing coffee so that they can sell it to the mom and pop shop that is going to be operating in, I don't know, Texas somewhere.
Yeah. I think that is
under threat.
Yeah, I think. I don't see my position here as very certain. I don't see myself. I never know what's going to happen the next year. So yeah, listen, I don't want I could use specialty coffees going away, maybe.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about it is that when you speak to green coffee buyers or green coffee traders, to be more accurate, what you're hearing is that they're 80 to 84 sold out. 84s, 85s to and up, they're struggling. And I know businesses that's right. I mean, you can always turn around and sell your 84 at an 83, but this is where we start to compromise and click the race. We activate the race to the bottom then. That's not what we want to do. But this is real, right? Like, and what I'm trying to figure out is this a temporary reaction to something that's happening on a global economic scale with regards to just economics in general? The world is, in my opinion, heading closer and closer to a global economic event. And there's a lot of pressure in the system. Inflation keeps kicking the shit out of everybody. And and again?
And the climate.
Right. Like, I'm in Dubai. We just had the worst floods, unexpected, monsoon level event. And that has been drastically expensive for this whole city. Not just the city, the whole country has undergone this. It means that we compromised the food we were growing. It compromised everything. So it's real.
Yeah, it is. I found this really interesting now that I was in Guatemala and I met other producers from different parts of the world, but everyone had concerns about the climate. Like I thought it was bad, but then hearing everyone having the same problems as I'm having with the climate, it was interesting. Was eye-opening, I would say.
What problems are you having with the climate?
So we are 1,600 meters elevation, and is as if we would be going down. So it's hotter. We got stuff like we have more mosquitoes now that we used to have. The nights are not being that cold. The coffee trees, I think they're just confused as we are. It's like you used to have like a harvest time, right?
Yeah.
It's getting wider. Like every year there's more coffee that has not matured at the end of the harvest.
Wow.
And it would be great if we could keep the harvest going all year. It doesn't matter, but we can't because it's too expensive. So we have to take those greens out. And right now I'm having some parts of the farm that are ripening really fast. But we got flowers right now on our coffee. And this coffee, when will it mature? In January. I can't harvest in January. So it's just, again, I think the trees themselves are confused. They don't know what time it is. So it's just, yeah. I think this year, for example, I'll start to have to do the rebusca, which is the first part of the harvest, which is just going and searching. There's not so much coffee available, not so many red cherries. So you have to like search for it. That's the reason it's called rebusca. And I haven't done this in the past 4 years, but I think I'll have to start doing it this year. The problem is that it's a very expensive thing to do because you have to pay day loans. It's not enough coffee that people can just go in and take a lot and then you can pay per kilogram, but they will not make enough harvest.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So the uncertainty that climate change brings to the farm ends up being an economic factor that drives the cost of production up, which the price is then bringing the second level of uncertainty And labor is another level of uncertainty on top of that. But labor's not necessarily for you, but for a lot of other farms it is.
It is. And many layers more. You want us to go into that?
Yeah.
So it is. So security is a big thing. I told you, like the weekend, we have people in front of the farm getting mugged by 7 people with guns, and
Wow.
there's no police. There's like, you won't expect the police to do anything about it. Like, I'm more afraid of the police, I think, than from these.
The muggers.
Police in Peru are like the biggest criminal organization that there is.
Mm-hmm.
Police or the bureaucracy. I told you we're a formal business, so we get squeezed by the entity that gets the taxes.
Yeah, that's every
absurd.
Country, my
it's
friend. Speak to anybody in Australia right now, and they'll tell you the level of tax that they're paying, that it just doesn't seem to be worth running a business.
Yeah, and they go after the ones that are formal. They go after them instead of try to bring the 80% of the economy that is informal, trying to make them pay taxes. They go after us, and it's situations. And like, I'm getting a huge fine that would mean I have to stop my business. I have to close everything down.
Wow.
And I go like, this entity is called SUNAT, right? And I go and I get the fine from them, and I have to go like, SUNAT, can you please give me this document where I made this declaration that I was exonerated from this tax? Okay, thank you, Sunat. Here is the thing, Sunat. And it's like that. That's the level. I've gotten fines because I haven't paid stuff. And it's like, no, I have paid. Yeah, here, it's paid. Okay. So I don't know when this has to stop. I don't know. And I need the coffee business. That's the reason I'm also diversifying into planting trees, because if something happens to the coffee business, I know I can keep my people and I can keep the land with the trees.
Right.
But right now I have my neighbor doesn't want, like, I have electricity and I have one electric pole that is on her land, and she wants me to move it. And she took me to court for that.
Wow.
It's like, I can't make that. Like, we had an agreement. We have documents that said that she now planted trees, and she says, no, those power lines are going to mess with my trees. So if I don't have electricity here, I have to stop. So, and that's security. You never know when this Finca Rosenheim project, this coffee project stops. And I've kind of learned to deal with it. Like, especially during the bad years, like, I knew it can stop at any moment. Like, if I can get financing, I've learned like that. And I told you, I'm very lucky, because I know that if this doesn't work for me, I got family living in Germany, and they told me, we're part of what you're doing. And if you can come, well, just come. But I know other people don't have that. And so if you see an abandoned coffee plantation, no wonder. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to do coffee.
And this is, I mean, the flow-on effects of this is that we get the immigration crisis that we've got heading towards the southern border in the United States. Right? Like, this is a direct influence.
Peru right now is an anarchy. We call this riesgo país. So it's like the risk of being in Peru, of the risk of doing business in Peru, is just going higher and higher. Our institutions are losing power, there's like, I need to do some things, like some legal things about our land and the registration of it. There's like no people working in
that ministry.
In that ministry, exactly. The agricultural ministry is totally unfunctional right now.
Oh my God.
So, yes, it's so explain that to people over social media. So that's the reason you have to come and see.
Well, and
I
this
have
is
a
what
highway.
Go on.
There's a highway that connects Villarrica, which is in the center of Peru. We're almost at geological center of the country. And this one highway connects Lima, the capital, with Villarrica. And I have to do this quite often because my wife lives in Lima. She works there. And I never know when this highway is going to be closed. Either it's just two lanes lead that connects all this part of the country with the capital. And I never know when this highway is going to be closed because there's a landslide, there's an accident, or there's people protesting.
Oh my God.
And my coffee has to go through there to the port in Lima, in Callao. And you have no idea when this is happening, how nervous I am that my coffee is on a truck going through this highway. Yeah.
Oh my God. And this is what you face every day.
Hours.
How many hours?
No, it's 360 kilometers.
Okay.
But it takes me 9 to 10 hours to do it.
Oh my God. And how regularly do you face this concern? Podcasts. Oh, no. Hey, people care about this stuff. People want to understand. The people who don't want to understand are the people who are selling equipment. You know, like and look, there are some great humans that are selling equipment in this coffee industry. But what we did here from the series that we did with Madeline was, and also from the conversation with Kat, like people loved it, don't get me wrong, but people were looking a lot into a mirror. And people, a lot of my friends were like sending me voice messages on WhatsApp saying, hey, like, it was a fantastic series, but it left me feeling really uncomfortable because like I saw a lot of myself in that I didn't like. So from the Cat series and from the Madeline series was obviously about like a lot of it was SCA Expo. So I just hope that like I'm getting ready to go to Busan next week. There's going to be World of Coffee there. And then we're all going to be looking at going to Copenhagen the month after that. And I just hope that we can use that time to connect with producers that are there. Or we can make the decision that if the only reason I'm going there is to have a reunion, is there a better way to spend my time and my money if I'm going there just to be able to say that I'm going to do that? Like, should I be going to Origin instead? I just wish that people will be a little more intentional about the way that they are participating in the supply chain. And a big reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast, and we're going to have more producers on the podcast that can talk from like, not like I sell $1,000 a pound coffee. Like we want to hear about the actual like perspectives of everyday producers in the industry. And it's important because from where I'm standing, every single day there's less and less and less of you. And I'm sorry about that. I've been in the industry for 20 years and I'm just sorry that we're here because I really do feel like we failed you. And we didn't fail you because we set out to fail you. We failed you because we were too busy trying to figure out how to survive on the other end of the supply chain. Because cafes and roasteries are also just trying to survive. And this is why I have this big concern, particularly with equipment manufacturers, because they're distracting us from solving things by selling us shiny shit because we're all addicted to FOMO.
You know, I really like that about your series when I heard a conversation with Madeline, because I'm all the way on this side of the supply chain in the farm in central Peru. And I don't get to hear a lot of what's happening on the other side. Mm. And I'll tell you something. I think that the best future for coffee is when the other side and this side connect and we skip over all the middlemen, intermediaries.
Yeah.
And I see that is a way to get success in this industry, no? Mm. And I love that social media allowed me to connect with some roasters and some people that I know. Some people, they just want to have their coffee, but there are some people that do care. There's some people that do want to know where their coffee coming from. And I want to connect with that. I want to have the relationships. And I think that's where the future of a good future for coffee could be.
As we say here in the Middle East, inshallah, God willing. Speaking about social media, where can people find you?
Oh, I'm on Instagram. And on TikTok.
Wow, you're on TikTok. Well done.
Right.
That's very brave.
I saw someone using one video of me on TikTok, a video from the farm on TikTok, and it had like 13,000 likes. So I went like, I have to be here because they didn't even put the
name of the farm
credit. Yeah. So it's like, no. And for me, it's just a copy of what I do on Instagram.
Yeah, great.
I love Instagram because I've made lots of connections like with you through Instagram. I tried having the content also in YouTube, but YouTube's very hard to.
Yeah, it's
very slow too.
It really is. So folks, the links will be in the show notes. Please connect with Mark if you would like to have a conversation about his coffee or going to Peru to his farm. He didn't scare you off with the cops and with the government and with the muggers and with all of that. Good job.
Me, I'm happy. If people have questions, I'm happy to answer.
Right.
I'm not an expert, but I know what we do here. So I'm really happy to answer. And if people want to come to the farm, I am so proud of what we do here. And I love showing the farm. This is like our presentation layer. This is like unfiltered. You come, you see what we do. And I love it. I love it when people come and they see and they say, well, I had no idea it was so complicated. No, we're here.
And I can tell you from having been on, I did my first couple of origin trips last year, it changed the way that I see everything about coffee. And it embarrasses me that it took that long to go. But, it wasn't like I wasn't busy doing a whole bunch of shit. And now I go to origin every chance that I can. So anyway, Mark, this has been a real pleasure. I hope you'll come back on the podcast. I hope we get to meet when we're in Copenhagen, and I hope we get to taste your coffee very, very soon. I'm a big fan of Peruvian coffee. So will you do me the honor of signing off the episode however the fuck you like? Use the word love and peanut butter in there somehow. But, people know the drill.
Oh, God. Such a responsibility.
Correct.
Okay. Peace over peanut butter.
Peace over peanut butter, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, Mark. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. Please don't forget to show us some love by subscribing, liking, commenting, and most of all, sharing this podcast with your friends. Check the show notes for links, including our sponsors and our Patreon. And stay tuned for more great conversations on the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward.